Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TV6 Digital Desk live stream. My name is Molly Birch, and I'll be taking you through a recap of today's headlines. This stream runs every night starting at 8 to 7 Central Time from Sunday to Thursday. Feel free to comment and ask any questions you have in the chat when you feel like it, and I'll do my best to answer those questions after we go and after the stream as well. With all of that business out of the way, let's take a look at our first story for tonight. In continuing coverage, we now know the name of the suspect in Monday night's deadly shooting in Houghton. The Michigan Attorney General's office says the suspect is 59-year-old Evan Dixon. Dixon is charged with 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder and 1 count of felony firearm. He is set to appear in court on Friday. We don't know the name of the 53-year-old victim, but his name is expected to be released after Friday's hearing. TV6 will continue to follow the latest updates in this developing story. And happening now, 3 Menominee marijuana dispensaries can remain open. A judge's decision today is the latest update in a battle that temporarily closed the businesses earlier this month. Higher Love, Loom, and Nirvana will keep their Menominee stores open because of a ruling by the 41st Circuit Court Judge Mary Bargland. We previously told you about a temporary restraining order that closed the cannabis companies on November 3rd. On Monday, Bargland allowed the stores to reopen after the city asked the judge to clarify her order. Today, Bargland dissolved that order.
What this case is not is an expression of whether the decision to uncap marijuana licenses is right or wrong for Menominee. That's not in my jurisdiction, that's not my decision, that's not what this case is about.
While this temporary injunction has been dissolved, there will still be a civil trial in May or June over what Rise and Fire Station believes is wrongdoing in the city's license approval process. And Menominee Mayor-elect Casey Hoffman defeated longtime Mayor Gene Stegman by 45 votes. Hoffman says he plans to be a mayor for everyone, not just the people who voted for him. He will take office on January 1st. Hoffman says he'll be the UP's first openly gay mayor, and he's excited to be a role model for UP LGBTQ+ kids. Hoffman says voters chose him for his platform, not his preferences.
The voters set aside any question about my sexuality. They knew I was gay, and they didn't care. They chose the candidate with the best direction and the best policies.
Hoffman says his first order of business is to expand the city's tax base. His second is getting the marijuana situation under control. And tomorrow, the first Panera Bread in the UP is set to open in Marquette Township. It's at 3460 US 41 West. Panera says the opening will feature samplings and giveaways, including certificates for the first 100 guests worth 1 year of free bagels and cream cheese. The company says the bakery cafe is expected to create around 50 jobs in the community. Panera Bread is open every day from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. A Texas Roadhouse is also under construction right next to Panera, but we don't know an opening date for that restaurant yet. And in Deer Hunt 2023 coverage, the Michigan DNR says this opening day of the firearm deer season has lower harvest numbers than last year. The DNR says one possibility for the drop in the UP is warmer than usual fall weather. This is the second year deer hunters are required to report a successful harvest within 72 hours. DNR spokesperson John Pepin says no hunters came through the DNR's Marquette Deer Check Station this morning.
It's interesting, they're looking for kind of like the Goldilocks weather, where it's warm enough to not be too cold or too much snow, but just the right amount would be good for tracking deer and to get deer moving on their migration paths towards the southern UP.
The state's online harvest report shows 40 antlered deer harvest today in Marquette County. If you want to check out updated harvest number by county, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And many hunters were up before dawn to see if they could bag a buck on this mild opening day. It's an annual tradition for many. TV6's Michael Shobik shows us how one UP family makes hunting a family activity.
The Paulson family has a tradition of deer hunting on opening day of the regular firearm season. The family begins their morning at 5 o'clock by preparing packed lunches, snacks, and any tools needed for the day. Wife and mother Marcy Paulson says she began hunting with her family and Rock as a child.
Well, it started with me with my dad and my brothers. I have 4 older brothers, and hunting was always just something that we did. Hanging out at camp, which is literally a quarter of a mile actually behind the house where my original camp was.
The Paulson family spends spring and summer building food plots for hunting season to attract deer to their field. Charles Paulson, Marcy's husband, says as their kids got older, the tradition became a family affair.
When they were young, I took them with, just tried to make it as fun for them as I could to keep them entertained so that they would go, so that I could go hunt. And then as I got older, it just became, we're going with Dad, go sit in the woods.
Charles and Marcy's 18-year-old son, Cole, says sometimes it's nice to sit in the deer blind and just watch the deer. Cole also says the hunting community in the UP is a welcoming one.
Everyone likes one another. When you're just sitting there, you just be alone, and even if you get one, you get to go bring it to someone else's camp, show everybody. Everyone congratulates you. It's just hanging out with everybody you like, doing something everyone likes.
The Paulson family didn't find success on this mild opening day morning, but say they still enjoyed the time together. Michael Sobek, TV6 News, Rock.
Thank you, Michael. And now that hunting season is officially upon us, wildlife rehabilitators are drawing attention to an environmental issue. Many hunters use lead bullets. When lead bullets make impact, they splinter off into many little pieces. Scavenging birds like crows, ravens, and eagles will eat the piles of gut left out by hunters, putting them at risk of lead poisoning. A wildlife rehabilitator says copper bullets are identical to lead, but they're non-toxic and stay in one piece.
Kind of adding, another layer of threat when we're leaving lead, especially when we have a choice what we use when we're hunting deer. So that's adding another threat to these birds. And they're, it's a super slow reproduction rate. So eagles have, 2 to 3 eaglets. Maybe one of those makes it past the first year.
To learn more or see what to do if you come across a bird that needs help, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And this weekend, a hunter's ball will be held in South Range to celebrate hunting season in the UP. It's at the VFW Post 6165, known as the Range Lounge. It's a new event organized by the South Range 4th of July Committee. It will have live music from the band Slick Nickel, a 50-50 raffle, and a basket raffle worth $500 in prizes. All proceeds go towards the committee for South Range's 4th of July celebration. They are hoping to raise $1,000.
We're hoping that you enjoy our first annual fall event, and it's a fundraising activity for the 4th of July fireworks and events.
The event will run from 7 to 11 Saturday night. Admission is $5. And Mount Bohemia is aiming for the #1 spot on USA Today's annual 10 Best Ski Resorts in North America this year. In the past 2 years, the resort has reached #3 on the ranking. There are only 5 days left of voting, so the standings are now hidden until voting ends. However, before the results were hidden on Monday, the resort was at #1. Now, the resort is asking for your help.
You can vote once a day, and we could really use everybody's help to get us there and to get that recognition across the whole country and world, for that matter.
The voting ends on Monday at noon Eastern Time. To vote, check out uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night, where I'll be here in the same place at the same time. That's 8/7 Central Time with a recap of tomorrow's headlines. You can find us streaming on Facebook or YouTube, whichever platform you'd prefer. And if you have a story idea you think we should report on, feel free to contact us at any time. These are a few easy ways to get a hold of both myself and others in the newsroom. And again, you can contact us at any time. We would love to hear from you and what's happening in your community. Thank you again for joining me live at the TV6 Digital Desk. Have a great rest of your night.